This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years writing articles, conducting interviews, attending press conferences, in press boxes, at the Rose Bowl, at Pauley Pavilion, all over the country for the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and boy, oh boy, unfortunately, like my Clippers, for those who don't know, I work for the Clippers, it's been a rough night. Obviously, tracking that score as the game goes on. I believe right now the Clippers are down 20, so we're not even going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Angels, who didn't help, as Nathan, you're already making me die with Locked On losing. Oh, man. Yes, that's what it feels like right now, is the Angels lose their 4th in a row, and they are now one of their last 7 games. They've only won one of their last 7 games, 1-6 in the last 7, obviously getting swept by the Twins over the weekend, going 1-2 against the Pirates, and now a quick 2-game road trip in Pittsburgh, and yes, or not in Pittsburgh, in Seattle, and yes, as I predicted on Sunday, as we all predicted, the Angels start the road trip with a loss. Unsurprisingly, the lineup doesn't do much. We'll get into my thoughts on what Johnny Washington said on Friday. I know I didn't talk about it on Saturday or Sunday, but the Halo Bros did a great job on the Daily Show yesterday discussing his thoughts. So I want to talk about that, and also want to talk about the game and Jorge Polanco, because he was the difference in this one. Goes deep twice, 5 RBIs, all 5 RBIs as the Angels fall 5-3 in Seattle. Jack Kochanowicz had a quality start, only gives up 3 runs, all 3 coming in the bottom of the second inning. Able to go 6 innings, was pretty darn solid. Other than that second inning, yes, the pitch count was high. No, is he ever going to give you, 8 strikeouts or anything like that? But I thought he was pretty good in what's been a rough start to the season for him. So very unfortunate that it was in a loss. As always, shout out to everybody in here. A lot of the familiar faces. It's Vinny. It's Angels Win. It's Jake. It's Real Marco Polo. It's Dave. It's Giga Chad. It's Joe Santa Cruz. Shout out to all the people, Larry S. in here, giving me the Clippers score updates, Fudd Alex, Nathan, Larry, so many of the others as well. Shout out to all of you. We'll say it at the beginning of the show. Officially, we'll be attending the game on Friday at the Big A. My first time at the Big A since I've done the postcast. So yes, Friday night, the Ben Joyce bobblehead giveaway against the Detroit Tigers. I will be there at the Big A. So if you are going to be at the game on Friday, if you're thinking about going to the game on Friday, why not come by? I will do I promise you that if you are at the game and you let me know either on Twitter in my DMs or in any of the comments in the upcoming shows, if you let me know you'll be at the game on Friday and you tell me where, we will absolutely coordinate meeting up with you, because obviously I appreciate you guys so much. And so the fact that there's even one person who wants to meet up with me at a game means a lot. So anyone who does, let me know if you're going to be at the game. I already see here Vinny saying he'll probably be there on Friday. Nathan sounds like he might be. I know that Angel Antonius was reaching out to me about giving me a gift at the game. So that would be awesome. Vinny said we should all get tickets in one section. I already got tickets, and I have to admit, my coworker bought them already. So I don't know exactly where it's going to be. So I will find out that answer immediately tomorrow morning when I walk into the office, and I will let you guys know on tomorrow's postcast where I will be sitting. Jake says, then we can all cry together and it won't be weird. Yeah, for real. So yes, I'll let you know immediately on tomorrow night's show. I might even post it on the channel before the show where I will be sitting Friday night. So if you are in the area, if you haven't bought your tickets yet or anything, let me know. Angels Win says Gavin's going to be in Diamond Club for sure. I promise you I will not. My tickets were $24. So that should tell you all you need to know. I know it's going to be up high. I just don't know in what section. So enough about that. Meet me on Friday if you can. But let's talk about the game. Let's get right to it. And typically it's a turning point or a specific, trend in this game. But really this game was decided by one player. So we got to go with the player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And yes, it is Jorge Polanco, as I say on the thumbnail, as I say in the title, and as I already said at the beginning of the show. But the regular third baseman turned DH tonight. He was phenomenal. He's been really good this season, now hitting .389 with 9 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's got 28 hits and 12 runs and 72 at-bats, a .1242 OPS. And certainly tonight helped that. He goes 2 for 3 with 2 home runs. Not to mention he had a third swing that should have been a home run, was robbed by Jo Adell. So he was all over us all night, has all 5 RBIs, also got on via the walk, but could have been a 3-homer performance, a 3-homer, 6 RBI performance, could have been 4 for 4. If we didn't walk him, who knows? He probably would have gone deep again or something. But yes, Jorge Polanco, he absolutely killed us. Obviously, the biggest swing of the game would be the turning point. You can call it the turning point. Heck, it's so, we're so down to the dumps that I know you guys like it, so I might as well click the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Just doing it because why not? And yes, it was the bottom of the second inning when Jorge Polanco goes deep. You start out the inning, Jack Kochanowicz does with a strikeout, but then you walk Mastrobuoni. Leo Rivas gets a single on a blooper. If you see the thumbnail there and you see the Taylor Ward image there, the blooper from Leo Rivas falls between Rengifo and Ward. 2 on, 1 out. You're able to get Julio Rodriguez to fly out, and then you've got runners on the corners for Jorge Polanco. This swing, not only the turning point because it's a 3-run swing and the only 3 runs of really the entire first half of the ball game, but because you were so close, Jack Kochanowicz was, to getting out of this. 3-2 pitch, 2 outs, 2 on, and you get it to 3-2 and you throw a sinker on the outside corner, but too high for a sinker. And Polanco, the trend we saw in this game, he's able to hit that outside sinker. He did it 3 different times. This one was the best of the 3, but still on the outside corner. He's able to hit it 395 feet, 108.9 exit velo, and he's still able to pull it to right center field despite it being on the outside corner. He was that on top of it. That's a turning point, right? Because other than that, Jack Kochanowicz was pretty darn solid. Obviously, like we said, a quality start. He finishes 6 innings pitched, gives up 4 hits, 2 of them in that at-bat, 3 earned runs, two of those hits in the inning, all 3 of the earned runs on that at-bat. He did have 4 walks, which was concerning. He did give you 6 strikeouts, which is higher than normal for him. But of course, the turning point and the player of the game, it's Jorge Polanco, largely because of that 3-run swing. Other than that, Kochanowicz was fantastic, and it wasn't until the bottom of the 7th where Polanco did it again via the long ball. But if you missed it, he did have a deep swing in the bottom of the 5th, hit another bomb, 388 feet, 106.7 exit velo off of Kochanowicz. And this one, a first pitch sinker right down the darn middle. He hit it again to right center field, and it was basically identical, right? But fortunately, Adell able to leap up and rob that one. That was really the highlight of the game for the Angels, in all honesty, even though they scored a couple runs. Yes, like Nathan says, it was a meatball. It was. And yes, Vinny rightfully saying that Polanco is casually, I don't know about MVP front runner, but he's certainly up there. I mean, he's hitting almost 390 with a plus 1200 OPS. He's been phenomenal. He's been obviously great from the left side. He hasn't swung much from the right side, but he was on the left side today and he was absolutely raking. Even though we robbed the home run there, he comes through with the other turning point, the other player of the game moment, the second home run. Julio Rodriguez gets on via the single against Fermin. Fermin obviously making just his second appearance of his young Angels career. Was able to have a solid outing last series, but not tonight. After getting Leo Rivas to fly out, gives up a single to Julio Rodriguez, and then an 0-1 sinker down and away, I guess, but really right down the middle. And once again, a sinker not inside. Polanco crushes it again, 108 exit velo, this time 423 feet, got absolutely all of it to make it 5-1, and that was all she wrote. Fermin really struggled. After that, he gives up a base hit to Raleigh on what was not a hard hit ball at all, but then he walks Randy Arozarena, and that's all she wrote for Fermin. So he was brutal. The home runs from Polanco, brutal, and the Angels fall 5-3 because of it. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about how the Angels got their runs, and we'll talk about what Johnny Washington said over the weekend. I know I didn't talk about it on Saturday or Sunday, but the Super Halo Bros, like I said, they talked about it. They gave their thoughts, and now I feel ready to give mine about what Johnny Washington said, especially with more context with what we saw tonight. We'll talk about the lineup. We'll talk about Mike Trout, as we always do after our break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, today's show is brought to you by wonderful Pistachios. If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Like I always say, I go to the gym at 6 in the morning, then I get home, I shower, immediately have to run to the office for a long day of work. But with the no shells variety, it's perfect. Whether I'm snacking in the car or at my desk, I just need that quick protein boost, and it gives it to me every single time. So get snacking and cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are well underway, and right when I say that, I have to go and check the score. The Clippers cut the lead to 14. It was 22. It's now 114-100 with 6 minutes to go. Hopefully my Clippers can come back and make it interesting at the end like they did in Game 4. Not sure if you caught that one, but NBA playoffs well underway. And right now, FanDuel is giving customers incredible ways to get on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I don't bet right now. I work for an NBA team, but when I went to New York and was able to over the summer, I loved how FanDuel made betting so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. And right after the game tips off, you can still combine live prop bets into same-game parlays. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim $250 in bonus bets today with FanDuel. Back here live with the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels fall 5-3 in the series opener. They're only playing 2 games in Seattle, but they've now lost 6 games of their last 7 after getting swept by the Twins. Now 4 losses in a row as well. And the once 8-4 Angels are now 12-17. Or excuse me, 12-16. I mean, maybe I'm foreshadowing to tomorrow. We already talked about the player of the game, Jorge Polanco, really one of the best players in baseball so far in 2025. He has another 5 RBIs via 2 home runs. Should have been 3 if it wasn't for Jo Adell robbing the home run there. But Jack Kochanowicz, other than that, had a solid start, in my opinion. I really thought he, was able to settle in after that bottom of the second. And it hasn't been a good start to the year for him. So still one of his better starts, even in the loss. Now we have to talk about this lineup, and I guess an improvement. I mean, it's hard not to improve from what the Angels showed us over the weekend. They scored 4 runs in the Friday loss, 1 run in the loss on Saturday, and were shut out in their loss on Sunday against the Pirates. They scored 3 runs, 0 runs, and 4 runs. But look at this. They haven't had a game where they have scored 6 runs since all the way back on the 10th of April. So, yes, we've now gone over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks since they scored 6 runs in a ball game. I know 6 runs is technically a loss, or a lot, but come on, man. You have not you haven't shown up. You haven't had a good performance, right? God forbid you give a pitcher who has a quality start but not a stellar start a win, right? God forbid. And so today they didn't do anything until the bottom of the 7th or the top of the 7th inning. At that point, I really thought the game was over. Their starting pitcher was in a groove. Miller was cruising. And they have a really, really strong bullpen. Obviously, Munoz came in and shut the door, but surprisingly, they're able to have some success off of the Mariners' setup reliever, Spire, who was phenomenal coming into this one, a sub-1 ERA, but he only gets 1 out. That's right, 1 out, gives up 2 earned runs. And Vargas as well, when he came in, the darn Mariners used 5 relievers, obviously very strategic with it. A couple guys only facing a few guys, but Snyder, he was good in the 6th. Vargas, he gave up a run in the 7th via the Logan O'Hoppe solo shot. We know that's the only way the Angels are going to score runs or at least start rallies. O'Hoppe does go deep in the top of the 7th inning. Leadoff home run, 3rd pitch of the at-bat. He got a cutter right down the middle, and he was able to crush it. 104.4 exit velo, 395 feet, his 8th of the year. But after that, 1, 2, 3. And then the top of the 8th, unfortunately, it was right after Polanco went deep, and that really felt like, all right, this game's over. One of the only bright sides is that the Angels still showed life after giving up that 2nd home run to Polanco. Of course, Zach Neto shows life. That's all he does. Already 4 doubles in his first 10 ball games since he's been back. That's unbelievable. He hits his 4th double here on a 111 exit velo fastball right down the middle, rips it down the left field line. to start the inning. Then Kochanowicz makes it back-to-back doubles. He rips one, just kidding, 64.2 exit velo. Was a dribbler that got by the third baseman, gets to left field, but really stopped before it got to Rosarena. Neto's able to score. And then Mike Trout. This, I know you guys were talking about it when I was joining. The umpires were brutal tonight, and this being probably the biggest example. Fastball outside corner, but a good baseball and a half outside, and he rings up Trout. That's really the only other turning point in this one, because if he doesn't ring up Trout, who knows? It's a 3-run ball game at that point. There's nobody out. Say even Trout has like a weak ground ball, right, or something like that, just advances Kochanowicz to third. Still would have been better than a strikeout. Ward strikes out after that. So you have back-to-back strikeouts. His was ridiculous, right down the middle with a sweeper. Unfortunately, a Jorge Soler double made it interesting. It scored Nolan Kochanowicz, made it 5-3, and it brought the tying run to the plate in Logan O'Hoppe, who obviously just went deep in his last at-bat, but as the tying runner this time was not able to do that. So the Angels do score 3 runs. They do have 6 hits, not anything crazy. But the main takeaway here for me, once again, another double-digit strikeout performance, 11 strikeouts. They were able to get on via the walk 5 times. So that's the only other bright side is you get 5 walks, but you end up leaving, I believe, you go 2 for 11 in this one, leaving a bunch of runners stranded in this ball game. And even though you put up 3 runs, even though you get the 5 walks, the most frustrating number that we've been seeing in this streak of absolute struggles is the strikeouts. We saw it again today, another double-digit game. We're averaging, I believe, 9.8 strikeouts per game. That's ridiculous. And so, sure, you got the walks tonight, you got a home run, and you got a couple doubles down the line, but let's not act like the approach, all of it still does not deserve to be questioned, because it certainly does. And that takes you to my last point, which is Johnny Washington was interviewed by Sam Blum on Friday, and the Super Halo Bros discussed it on the recent show. They gave their thoughts, and I wanted them to talk about it first. I had a feeling they would. They had great takes as always, and I agree with everything they said. The 2 main takeaways from what Johnny Washington was saying, the first thing he was saying was, oh, we're not ending at bats when we need to. Obviously a very vague comment there, but what they were thinking he meant, what I was also thinking they mean is, oh, our plan is to hit this type of pitch, and when we get it, we need to hit it, right? So if your plan is if you see a fastball on the outside corner against a certain pitcher, you need to hit that. That's where the at-bat needs to end. Whether you get a base hit or not, that's where the at-bat needs to end. Interesting comment, right? That was the first takeaway, is that that was the main thing he kept saying. Their second takeaway was he kept talking about the team as a whole and not individual adjustments, individual changes that need to be made batter to batter. And, I think for once, the comments made by Johnny Washington actually align to what we're seeing. The problem is it's not in a good way. Everybody who watches this team goes, just about everyone in this lineup gets out in the same way. Meaning, obviously, they all strike out. I mean, look, Neto with a strikeout, Kochanowicz will strike out, Trout with 2 strikeouts, Ward with 2 strikeouts, Adell with 2 strikeouts, Paris with 3 strikeouts, right? Everybody goes to their at-bat the same way, right? They're striking out all the time. They're clearly sitting for certain pitches and not hitting them, right? We saw, there's been games in the past where pitches right down the middle are being called strike 3s. We saw Taylor Ward take one. What does that usually tell you when you take a pitch in the zone for a strike 3? You were sitting a different pitch, obviously, right? And you were completely fooled. So that goes to the first thing of we are, not ending at bats when we need to. It means we're sitting on a pitch, and when we don't get it, we're screwed. Or if we get it and we don't turn into a hit, we're screwed. That's already a concerning thing to say, and we're seeing that in the way these guys are striking out on pitches outside the zone, striking out on pitches down the zone, because they're sitting on certain things and they're not getting it. Number 2, like I just said, every hitter gets out the same way, both with the strikeouts, but also not choking up the bat, not hitting opposite field. Other than Zach Neto, no one is looking consistently confident at the plate. No one is consistently either hitting on the first pitch of the at-bat, but also getting to a 3-2 count and then getting a hit, right? Everything seems like, whether it's O'Hoppe going deep in today's game, or whenever Trout goes deep, or whenever anyone goes deep, it usually seems like they were sitting on a pitch and they got it, right? We never see a guy who was sitting fastball and gets he starts leaning, but then he adjusts and then hits an off-speed pitch deep. No. Someone was sitting off speed, they got an off speed, they crushed it. Or someone was sitting fastball, they got a fastball and they crushed it. That's the only time this team gets hits, whether it's Rengifo or Trout or basically everyone but Neto, which means we're not changing our adjustments hitter by hitter, and we're not changing our adjustments pitch by pitch, right? So Johnny Washington's comments, as vague as they were, they did reveal a lot about what this team is struggling with, because his comments align directly with our issues. And the problem is he didn't show any sign of wanting to change it. He said, oh, we're going to stay the course. There's nothing that we're doing differently at the beginning of the season when we were playing well, that from now we're just not finishing at bats when we need to, but we're going to stay the course. That's not what you want to hear when a team, I believe the stat coming in was like 167 strikeouts to like 12 walks or something absurd like that. I think that was the stat. So I don't know. Obviously, you heard me on Sunday saying I'm taking some blame away from Ron Washington. At the end of the day, professional hitters got to be able to hit the ball. I still believe that. But just hearing what was said on Friday, listening to the Halo Bros break it down and kind of compartmentalizing it myself, obviously this is a combination of professional hitters that aren't acting like it and professional hitting coaches that aren't doing the necessary adjustments. So with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Obviously, the Angels have an opportunity to end a 4-game skid tomorrow against the Mariners once again in the second game of this quick 2-game road trip before they finally bring it home to the Big A. Thursday, they open up the series against the Tigers. Friday, I will be there, like I said. So let me know both either in the comment section. My best recommendation would be to do it the second this stream ends, go onto the video and comment it, or hit me up on Twitter. You see it there at Gavin Carlson _ Let me know if you're thinking about going to the game on Friday or if you already have your tickets. And if you end up going, let me know. I'll let you know where I'll be sitting on Friday night. Would absolutely love to meet whoever is there. Tomorrow we get Tyler Anderson against Hancock. Hancock 1-1 with a 7.71 ERA. Meanwhile, Tyler Anderson has been cruising 2-0 with a 2.6 ERA. If we don't win tomorrow, boy, oh boy, I don't know when we're going to win. I predicted a loss today and a win tomorrow. That's what I want to see. Vinny predicting a Mike Trout bomb. That's what we like to hear. So Vinny's 3 for 3 in his Trout predictions. Let's make it 4 for 4. Trout goes deep. You know what? I'll say it. I agree. Trout goes deep. Angels win. Angels end the skid. They move to 13-16. Still only a couple games back of those Mariners if they win tomorrow. And then let's start a streak in Detroit, especially when I'm there on Friday. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Shout out to everybody in here. I'm going to go watch the end of the Clippers game. The score is 124-107. It's over. Jesus. All right. Well, the horrible night continues. But shout out to everybody in here. I'll see you guys tomorrow night after hopefully an Angels win. And again, let's plan to meet up at the game on Friday. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.